So what we want to do today is create a watershed, just like Bernie was talking about. Now, a watershed is a complicated thing, but we're going to make it simple here and all throughout. Now, you have to have some clay to make your simulated watershed. Now, your clay has to be in a nice condition, just like you have to be in a nice condition. If you are in shape and strong, you can do things. If you are fat and flabby, you can't do anything. So this clay, if you look closely at this clay, I'm going to squeeze it. Ooh! Ooh! It doesn't want to be worked. It just wants to stay in a big lumpy. And I throw it, it barely does anything. So we have to condition the clay because it's too dry. Occasionally clay will be too wet and then it's kind of slimy. What you want the clay to look like is, see this? I squeeze it, it squishes, and it works very nicely. Now we're going to get the hard piece soft, and you have to have a mallet to condition the clay. You're going to hammer it so that it behaves itself. You want a piece of cloth, keeps things from getting dirty. And then you want a bowl of water, big bowl of water, and you need, of course, your clay. Now this clay, like I said, too dry. Oh, get away from me. Too dry. So I dip the too dry clay, so you can see this, in the water, get it nice and wet, and put these pieces together like this. Now I can't squeeze it very good, and that's what the hammer is for, the mallet. Now I put this here, I put cloth over it, and if you have a bad day, this will make your day a whole lot better. That kid was really mean. The bus driver was a jerk today. That my little sister's always a jerk, and I get blamed for everything. Now, as you can see, this can be a lot of fun. Look what I did. Big chunks. I put a hole clean through it. I am a master at conditioning the clay. The key to being a master, a lot of anger inside. Feels good. I feel really nice, very powerful after helping the clay get a new face. Dip it back in the water, and you keep doing this until, let me do this. Oh, yes. Until it feels the right amount of softness. If I was doing this without laying the cloth on top like this, it's going to splatter. So you put it over like that. Now if your neighbors happen to see you conditioning clay, they never talk to you again. I have 3 neighbors. They just look at me strange every time they walk by my house. I say, hi! They go, whoo! Evidently, they saw me working the clay. So I would just keep doing this till it's nice and soft and squishy, kind of like this one. Isn't that fun? Yes! I took all those pieces that were nicely conditioned and I hammered them together so I had a big thick slab about yay big by yay big, really big. And then I took a rolling pin on it and I smoothed it out, rolled it out. It was probably 2 inches thick. And then I took that and I put it in this like, let's say dish pan, and I put it in here and kind of smashed it down, and I raised up certain parts. I don't know if you can see this well. So it didn't have to be solid. I stuck a chunk under here where I wanted a hill, and then that helped hold that up like that. And I did the same thing over here, though this mountain is solid. And what I did is I started to form the features. This is going to be my biggest mountain range. This is going to form streams coming down into here. Mostly molding this with my hand. If I want to make something else, say right here, take a little piece, rip it off, blend it in. There's no special skill to this. just try to make it look like natural. You could even look at a picture of a mountain range or valleys or hills and just make this. There's going to be several things that you have to have in here. You have to have one mountain, you have to have a couple hills, at least 2 streams, a pond. And okay, so here we have my finished landscape, but it's a very unnatural landscape. We see no trees, no grass, no fields, and the water, when it rains, it's just going to come right off, rushing out, down. All the water is going to go right to the lakes and creeks, and in real life this will create erosion and mud. This clay will hold up better than that. So we're going to simulate a rainfall event by taking 1 cup of water in this can, and rain comes along, and just watch, see if you can get a sense of where the water goes, how it flows. You can see how fast it flows off the right down into the creek. So here's the stream, and big lake here, little stream, little bit of water pool. It's kind of unnatural. It was smooth and the water could run right off. So today we're going to put vegetation. I simulated it with this brush, and I stamped into the clay kind of vigorously to make lots of little pock marks. If you want to see in nice and close, right here is an area that's kind of not done yet, and I'm doing this, and that simulates vegetation, lots of grass and bushes and forest. Now man moves into this area and they want to build things. The first thing they do is they build houses. So this little guy built a house here. This guy thought he was a knight, and he built a little tower on top of the mountain. This guy's kind of high on the hill, medium. This guy built really low down here in a lake area, and we have to see how he makes out when it rains, if it was a wise choice to build there or not. We have to decide, was it wise to build on top of the mountain? But now they're here and they're like, I want to go visit Bobby Jr. I need roads. So they create roads. And how they do that, most people when they make a road, they say, I want to get here most direct route. So this person could make a road that goes right up this valley like this, and that's very direct, very obvious. But it's a bad idea. Do you know why it's a bad idea? Because rain is going to come down this mountain valley and rip out your road. Now you have no road. A lot of the fertile soil is down in the valley where you don't want it. So to make a road from this guy's house to the mountain house, you want to not go where the water goes. You want to stay on contour. That means level as you can. So you drive along the side of this, and here I'm going to cross the valley that where the water goes, and I'm going to come around here. Now I've got to go uphill a little bit, unfortunately, because we're going uphill. I'm going to kind of follow this ridge because the ridge doesn't take as much water. And from here I could go straight up, but the water is going to run straight down that road. So instead of that, I'm going to go level, slightly uphill, and snake it back around. See how I make it snake around? It takes a long time to get to the top, but it's a much more stable road. So that windy road is actually best from the standpoint of how it works. Now this guy wants to get to this guy's house. We could make a line that just goes down through the valley, but we want to be as level as possible. You know why? As level as possible? That's right, so that the water doesn't go down the lane, ripping your lane out. So let's look at this one. He makes a little path, following here, comes across here. This valley is a dangerous place to go across because water likes to rush down it, but you have to go there to get here. We're staying across the level part of this little ridge. staying high. And now this is a creek. How are we going to get over here? How do you cross creeks in your world? That's right, not a raft, no, bridges. We're going to make a bridge. So take a little piece of clay, construct it, and we have a bridge. Now you could make your bridge more beautiful than that, but that's just the idea. So he now has his road. Now when they're here, they're going to farm. And this is the tractor plow. And this guy, he plowed straight from the top of the hill to the bottom of the hill. Like this. This guy, he said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to farm on contour. He plowed level, which means he kind of went around like this, and then he goes back around this way, and he keeps it. Which field this farmer or this farmer is going to lose more of his soil to erosion? That's right. This guy over here, where it's going straight down the hill, just runs off. This helps hold the water in these level grooves. So that's a good thing to know if you're going to be farming something. Now, this farmer, he's smart. He's farming on contour, and he says to himself, I want to keep more water on my field. What can I do? Well, he dug trenches on contour. So let me make some intensely deep contour trenches. These trenches soak in the water and it keeps it on his land. Now I don't know if these are perfectly level, but I am guessing that they are close. So I'm making these on contour. They call them swales. And he can make as many or as few as he wanted. And you do this on steep areas where you want to hold the water. So that's a swale. So you could make swales in yours. So when you do yours, what you'll need to do, once you have the landscape features, you take the brush like I did, and you stamp it all over the place where you think trees and grass would grow. I did not stamp on the top of the mountains because it's too rugged for trees there. So I stamp all this up and then build at least 3 houses. I built 3 houses, and then we said they want to visit each other. So you make roads. Don't make them go straight down the hill. That's bad. Make them on contour. They try to make them level. After you make roads, then you need to farm. You have to survive out here. You want to eat. So you make fields. Don't make them straight down. Make them on contour around the hill like this. Maybe you want to make some swales. The goal is to hold as much water high in the landscape. You don't want it all rushing to your ponds and your creeks right away. You can't grow a vegetable if all the water's in the pond. Grow a good fish. So you can also create dams to hold water. That's or ponds. Look here, I've created a dam. Now where do you want to put a dam? You can't put the dam just anywhere. You could build one right out here on the top of this hill. Do you think a dam's gonna work good on the top of a hill? Why no? You have to go over here. See, there's high ridge here, high ridge here. If I just block this area, this will hold water here. I can make a very big dam in a short period of time. You bring in your backhoe and you dig a trench down into here like this. Ooh, that's looking good. And you smash that clay from up higher in the hill, lower in the valley, and this is going to catch lots of water during the next rain event. Now, if you were building a real dam, you would have to be really careful. Your dam is strong enough to handle all of that water and the water that flows over it. So, what do I want to do now? I want to test my system, see how it worked. Now the last time I did this, the water, when it came across, it came up to right where this house sits. I put the little mark right there. Can you see that mark? And all of this was water down in here. So all this water here down from this mark I'm going to do it again. We're going to do 1 cup of water, 1 cup of water, pour that in my little watering can. I'm going to water the whole system, rain come through, and see if the water is there or lower. It should be lower if I did a good job constructing swales and texturing things. And I could even build a couple dams if you really want to make this, improve this. Like this could be a dam right here. Oh, there, make another dam. That's a good way to really, or a pond, whichever you want to call it. I could make it bigger. And that right there, that's going to catch, you know, a tablespoon of water. So let's do it. I see a cloud coming. Rain is coming to the landscape. It's running over the field. Oh, it's running down into the stream. Look at this, it's running down here. It's filling up that dam. And over here, oh, it's filling up that dam. Oh, it's spilling over down toward the creeky. Oh, it's coming down this farmer's field. It's just running straight off. Look at this farmer's field. It's just soaking in, doing a very nice job. Now let's look at the water level. Our water level is now here, somewhere in here. It went down a little bit from last time. Let's look at these guys' houses. Do you think this is a good place for this guy to have house? Look at the water. Is this safe? No. His house is going to get washed into the water and smooshed. Now this guy is in a very nice place. This is going to be a hard house to live in because of the road. The road system will get washed out sometimes, maybe a little bit. It will be hard to live up here. Probably eventually his tower fall down and nobody fix it up. So this house is the best location, and so hopefully you had fun making your watershed and you understand a little more how to work soil to hold water. Okay, bye-bye.